us and Next Level Live. We have a very, I'm excited about what we're going to discuss today because we've been working really hard to get a big, diverse group training every week. You know, one of the things that, like how you're doing this for a year, right? It'd be really difficult if every time we did a training it was only people who've been with us for 5 years. Or, hey, let's only use the people who've been here 1 day. I mean, you're like, that doesn't really fit my criteria. Or, I have a full-time job and I'm trying to figure out how I transition. I mean, that wouldn't have helped Eric Schmidt if every time we did a call, like, I never had a job, I just was an insurance agent for 30 years. He's like, well, I have a job. Like, I'm trying to figure out how to transition out of it. And we have groups that come in the corporate office quite a bit, which we're very excited to have. Ryan brought in a group. You've been here with a few different groups, Ryan. You brought this group in, which is newer for me. It's a newer group to me, which is great group. And I think we have a lot to talk about today that serves a lot of people. I think we have, you know, from a month to a year as far as experience goes. You know, we got some people still have a job. Some that transition out and said, hey, I kind of love your story. I'm like, I was working 80 hours a week and I'm tired. You know, you guys got an office, and I want to kind of go through some of the things that you're doing and some of the things we've been talking about here, because I do think they're going to help. I think we talk quite a bit about, you know, I love, you know, it's neat because I always look and see, Ryan, where people are at. You can discern where somebody's at as it pertains to building their business based on the questions they ask. I'm always really nervous of somebody who has no questions. You know, like, how's it going? Good or bad or terrible or what? But they don't, you know, it's never, I want to know, you ask me, I'll wear you out. And another thing I was thinking about, and how do you all do this over here? That's how I did with the insurance carrier started. So when you guys do this? And finally they're like, you know, we can't do your job for you. I was like, well, you've been doing a pretty good job answering my questions, so I'm going to keep rolling. A lot of stuff you've given me has helped me out. I'm trying to figure out how to run this company. So, you know, we've been talking a lot about sales and building. I want to start here. And basically what I'd love you to do is introduce yourself, how long you've been here, a little bit of background, and then you know, I have a few questions, you know, for each of you that I think will benefit everybody that listens. We started off these calls. We get quite a Mike. Do you even know how many total views we get on these things when they're downloaded and watched? And
I mean, by the end of the weekend, it's usually 4,000.
Yeah. I mean, we started. You know, it's funny. We get like 80 people on the call, and I love people who call me up and go, you know what? I need a list of people on the call. And I'm like, okay, why? We're going to call the ones that aren't on the call. I'm like, and do what with them? Reprimand them? They're independent contractors. You want a list of people not on the call to call them up and ask them why they're not on the call they already don't want to be on, and then you think they're not going to make sure they don't ever get in the call that you tell them they have to be on because they're adults, and their answer is probably going to be, I'm an independent contractor. You know, a guy one day sent a guy a text, why are you over here in that state? And the guy was like, because I'm an independent contractor. Like, i.e. you're not my boss, you know? And I think you work really hard to earn people's respect. You don't have to demand it. You know, I think anytime anybody's demanded I respected them from a coaching standpoint, teaching standpoint, or business standpoint, it's because I didn't. And demanding it made me take somebody I didn't respect, how hard they didn't work or how they treated everybody. I didn't respect that already, so I wasn't going to automatically go, okay, got it. I just go find somewhere else to work. You know, find another team to play on. That's kind of how I did it. So I'd love, you know, you got to grab, I want you to tell it, but introduce yourself. Talk a little bit about also from a production standpoint, where you are year to date. You know, now 2019, I'm here. Personal production goal at the end of the year. Business building goal, I think you're a little bit further ahead, so you've been around for a little bit longer than some of the folks in this room. So if you don't mind doing that, that'd be great.
Sure, yeah. So my name's Kyle. I'm down in the Panhandle area of Florida. And so I've been with Family First Life for about a year. So we're coming up on a year now. A year ago, I was a full-time musician. I worked at churches. You know, I played gigs 6 nights a week, out and about. And so yeah, a year ago I came over, no experience or anything like that. I got connected with Ryan just through a random connection with another guy that had known him from his previous career. So yeah, we've been cranking at it for a year now.
So you reached out to somebody that Ryan knew, he reached out to you or she reached out, how did that happen?
All right, so I got paired up randomly with a guy on a golf course.
Okay.
Years ago.
Got it.
Okay, he kind of became a mentor of mine, kind of a business mentor of mine. And, you know, a year ago, he said, you need to reach out to this guy I know who used to own a restaurant that I loved. And so I called Ryan, and I was at his office the next day. And I think I was licensed 2 days later.
Okay, so yeah, and I mean, I want to keep on the personal production side, but it's funny because people say, man, like, let's use Family First Life Southeast, right? Man, they built such a big organization. Yeah, I know. And what's the trick? Well, when somebody goes golfing, they talk to the person they're golfing with, and that person might know somebody from a restaurant they used to go to. And when they are out at a softball game for their child and they're talking to somebody, they probably just have a dialogue because that's normal. And they talk about what they do. They don't beg anybody to do anything, and they network with people because it's what they do for a living. They genuinely want other people to do better. So if they're at a game or something, or somebody doesn't go to a game, I had a guy hired the other day, and I said, how'd you hire this guy? He goes, I was at my daughter's game, and he's been to one game all year. And the guy was talking to me, he's like, man, I'm glad I was able to make it. I can't ever go time off from work. And the guy I know is like, that's because jobs suck. He goes, they don't suck completely, but when you have to ask for time off to go see your daughter play, that part sucks, right? And he's like, it does. He's like, well, what do you do? He goes, I go to every game. I'm able to work my schedule, I work for myself. And then they now had a dialogue, and I think that the whole, listen, there's plenty of people who do it really well, but I think that Southeast group just really from day one really grabbed it and said, you know what, we want everybody to win. We know hundreds of thousands of people cumulatively. There are 2 million licensed life insurance agents in America. They're working somewhere. And then we don't even know what the number of is how many millions of people need extra income, want to leave their job, are buying time. We don't know. So I think they just do a really good job. And it's funny because Ryan's interaction at the restaurant with the person had to be decent because he said, call him. And then you're motivated. Were you always looking, now I'm curious, I'm not a musician at all. It's kind of funny, my daughter played some of those instruments, if you don't know how to play them, make evil noises. For sure. Like evil. My daughter's great, they made her play an instrument like in 6th grade, right? And she had a saxophone. And it was like nothing I ever heard. No. But she's my daughter, right? So my baby, that is awesome. When I tell you that's awesome, that is awesome. You know what I mean? Like
Kenny G.
Yeah.
Yo, no, yeah, definitely not. But it's funny, and then she learned she didn't want her deal, and did you always know you wanted to do something else? And did you plan on being a musician for 30, 40 years?
No, we had a 3-year-old, and I was playing at bars till 2 a.m. And, I was getting home late, never seeing my kids. Well, not have 2, but it was just.
Well, you're home more now.
Yeah, I'm home
you
now
too.
for sure.
Yeah.
So I was 31, and I was like, man, I got to find something else.
Well, that's the thing I think too. I think people start to, it's that transition, right? I think that, you get to a point where, I think for me, a lot of people, I was talking about Andrew this the other day, we kind of just run through life and don't think a lot about the time or what we want to do, what we want to accomplish. And before you know it, you've been doing something for 10 years. Like you start something at 18, 19, and you're like, I'm 31. It's like, a lot of guys that play ball, and they're like, wake up one day at 30, and they're like, dude, I'm not making enough money to support my family, because a very tiny percentage of them make a lot of money. The rest of them labor and try to make it, which is good for them. But eventually you get to the point where you're like, I do love what I'm doing, but I can't love what I want to do in my personal life as well, doing that. So you never sold life insurance. First week in the field. Very first week. So Ryan got you some leads, or how it all worked out. How did that go? Do you remember how many appointments you ran? How it went?
I ran the first week. I probably ran about 8 appointments.
Okay.
Let's see. One day, the first day I went 0 for 4.
Yeah.
I drove about 6 hours to my first appointment.
Yeah.
And then I drove 2 hours to the next, 2 hours to the next, an hour to the next, and then 6 hours home. So it was rough.
Okay.
And but I came.
How was
home.
that drive home?
Well, I talked to Ryan.
Okay. What was something Ryan said that helped you get through the day or made sense to you, gave you perspective?
I think the big thing was just that I just went through 4 learning opportunities, and so I made different mistakes in each home, and so the key for me was, all right, well, I'm just not going to make that mistake again. Mm-hmm. That first day I learned how to be more efficient in booking my appointments, because I was all over the place.
Obviously.
But it was rough, but then, talking to him helped me with my mindset, like we're going to get after it again tomorrow. And when I get home and my wife says, how was it today? It was great.
There you go.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I think that's a couple things, right? First of all, I always said that. I said, whatever happened to the appointment that wasn't good, if I couldn't learn from it, I left it there. Like, I left it there. If you filled out a form and you really, were disgruntled and angry for whatever reason, and I did all I could do, I left it there. I can't take it with me. But if I did something in the appointment and went, man, I shouldn't have done that, then I'll take that with me because it was a learning experience. Secondly, when you go home, what a lot of people do is they kind of vomit all over everybody. Now, Ryan can help you because he does this for a living. But somebody that can't help you, you telling them how bad it is or how bad it was, how is that advantageous? I'm not saying you gotta go, well, I wrote $37,000. It was a great day. Why was it a great day? You learned. It was a great day. I learned. Now, you didn't ask me how many vowels there were. How was that? Great. Because that's the mindset, but a lot of us, we wanna find somebody to complain to. And we're hoping, because a lot of us, this is how we've been raised. I mean, we just wanna, I used to work at UPS and we used to always joke and it was, a lot of the guys I worked with would come in. Now we were unloading the trucks, loading the trucks. We didn't make a lot compared to what the people delivering packages made. They made more than us. Like they had full-time jobs, like better benefits, whole deal. And we'd load the trucks up, and a lot of times they come in, it's like the ones I work with, let's complain. I'm like, why don't you come in at 2 a.m., you load the truck. You can throw everything in there, put it wherever you want. I don't care. I'll come in and do your job at 9 a.m. and sort it myself on the road and make 3 times what I'm making now and get twice the hours. It was almost like, for me, it was like you're just trying to find something to complain about complaining, you know what I mean? And then it doesn't get any better because do you know when you're 18 like I was and you complained to me about your truck, what do you think I did? I made it more of a mess because it was actually really good the first time when you complained. So I'm now going to write a passive aggressive from 18 years. I'm gonna give you something to complain about. And we have that dynamic with people we talk to too, because it's like we start talking and it's not, now again, you have to know people. Some people in your life are very positive. We're gonna go, you can do it, you can get it no matter what, but you have to know. And it's an emotional thing. You left your job. That was those gigs as you referred to them, they paid you. That's how you paid your bills. So you left that to go do this. It needs to work for your family. He can help you. So you called him. You didn't call your friend who doesn't sell anything. Hey, Tim, this sucks. Tim, I told you everything sucks. He's like, Tim's excited. I knew it would suck. It's no good. Come back and play the gigs. They're better. What was the biggest thing that week you learned? So you learned a lot of things. What was the biggest, if you remember back to that week? I know you're scheduling points, but what something else, like in the home maybe?
So in the home, I do remember my first appointment. So we talked, after that appointment, because I had a long drive.
Yeah, you sure did.
Talk me through the appointment, how'd it go? And what I did in that first appointment was I just confused the crap out of her. All right, and so I didn't know. But that's what Ryan was like, oh, you just confused her.
Yeah. No structure, just rambling, and she's all over the place, and confused people. Oh, yeah. My buddy Matt Smith's favorite line, confused people do nothing, and they don't, they're confused.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, I gave her a ton of options to choose from. But I confused her, so that was the big thing that I learned. And then my thing, especially that first week, was I just wanted to get better each day. And so I knew, even that day, going over 4, I got a lot better that day.
The other thing I think, Ryan, is when you talk to somebody who gives you the most honest assessment of what they've done, you can help them, right? When Ryan says, run me through the appointment, you didn't tell him what you thought he should hear or how you'd look better. You just told him how. But that's a key to, I think a lot of times we're so worried about, listen, when you start, you're supposed to make mistakes. You know what makes me the most nervous? Not somebody that goes 0 for 4 or 1 for 9 or 3 for 10. You give me a guy or girl that goes, ran my first 10, wrote myself $27,000. How many did you close? All of them? I'm like, oh boy, call them up. Oh boy, are you kidding? I call size. Who is that person? They wrote 27,000. I'm not mad, but I'm like, ooh, 0 for 4. It's like, so if you're worried about my reaction's gonna be better with it. That makes some sense. You know what I mean? That's a little bit weird. It's kind of like, those guys are all good at Major League Baseball. They start hitting the ball 597 feet down the highways. They're like, y'all are on something. They're getting some base hits, hitting the wall once, while everybody was good. Boom! Where did that go? It didn't land yet. That's a problem. I mean, that we didn't expect that. We expect it to be a journey to be difficult. And you didn't have a previous relationship with Ryan. I mean, you didn't know him. So it's not like, well, I knew him. No, you didn't know him. And you needed to make money. And I know it seems really simple, but Ryan answered the phone. I don't seem simple, but a lot of people, I always I'll use Meaike Killiman because he won't care. First thing, 3 months in, I'm like, Meaike, you have to start answering your phone all the time, bud. And I think you must have some system where you use it, you put it down somewhere. And then when I call and it buzzes or rings, you're not near it. I don't think you're looking at it going, I'm not gonna work. I don't think that. I think it's down somewhere. You always have to be, you're running a business, bud, you gotta be there to help people, man. I mean, that's the way it works. And until you have some staff and some other situations, you've got to be there, you know? Especially when somebody's working. But you went out there and made a mess, that's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
Well, how much did you issue paid year to date, 2019?
2019, first quarter, 120,000.
120 grand. So, not a bad first quarter. You hit Hall of Fame, do 400 grand. How many appointments a week are you running now?
25 to 30.
25 to 30. What's that look like? Dial and when, run and when, just curious.
I dial Monday,
Yeah.
Tuesday, Wednesday, dial Thursday for Friday, Saturday.
Got it. And we were joking about that earlier. You know, we used to dial Friday and only run, like I was part-time, so my schedule was always dial Friday, run Saturday, Sunday. I worked Monday through Friday, so I dial Friday night, a little bit Saturday morning, and run all day Saturday, all day Sunday, because I had to, I had a job. So I assumed, that's what everybody has to do. You know, so Mike Kilmet's like, we dial Monday, Thursday, I was like, that doesn't make any kind of sense. And then I looked at the numbers, I was like, that's perfect dial days. Those are perfect, you know? But I was looking at it through my lens, where most of the people didn't have a full-time job Monday through Friday. Now, if you said, I got a full-time job Monday through Friday, you know, 8 to 8, 8 to 7, whatever, I'd be like, you gotta try to sneak them in Friday night and run Saturday and Sunday, because you have a full-time job. But for the most part, it's having those, you know, those full days to run that Tuesday, Wednesday, you know, to run that Friday, Saturday, break the week up, do what you gotta do, and have that structure every single week. What kind of leads are you running?
Any lead I can get.
Any lead you
I
get.
run mostly final expense.
Okay, got it,
The areas I run, you know, I get 25 mortgage protection leads a month.
got it.
So
Okay.
I run a ton of direct mail.
So I gotta say this, so I have people will call me up, and they'll go, you know the reason I can't be Hall of Fame, right? And go, I don't know, it sounds like you're gonna tell me, so fire away. And I usually know, and no offense, it means you're not gonna run your 25, 30 appointments, you're working 40 hours a week. I'm not, and you do whatever you want, I'm not mad, by the way, I didn't tell you had to do anything. I'm just, you're coming, you're, as my son would say, you're coming at me. You know, I say going for my neck or something he says, I don't know what he says. So you're coming at me, and they'll give me, well, you know, my area doesn't have a lot of mortgage leads. Well, yours doesn't. You're new, it's final expense. Are the areas crazy wealthy?
No.
No, right? I mean,
They're not close either.
they're not close. Yeah, they're not close. My point is, if you're willing to put 30 appointments on the books and run them, I don't care what the other variables are, you'll win. The economic situation, the average premium, what kind of leads, it doesn't matter because the numbers will overwhelm it. You can't miss the mark. Give it to me, we talked about that earlier. You run 30 appointments a week, you're gonna have 10 not show up. And you can close 10 out of the last 20. And on average, you're gonna write $1,000 in a house. On average, I mean, you can run a couple policies, even if they're smaller policies, this one's $30 a month, this one's 40. Boom, I mean, you're getting there. So now here's your 10 grand you submit. That's 520 submit. Can you issue 400 on 520 submit? Yeah. And it's not, you're not like killing it. Nobody's asking you to train on people being there because the 30 years weren't. Nobody's asking you on closing because you closed half. You know, you're not training on the stuff, you're just doing enough work. And I think that's the thing with the leads. I've had people kind of, you know, this kind of lead sucks, that kind of lead sucks. And we were always just like, no leads suck. A lead's a lead. I get it, but I mean, a lead is a lead is a lead. Give me somebody that asks for something, I'll give you a sale. You give me something that says, somebody that says I want something. You know, Facebook. I mean, these guys are smart. They track them. They research something. They Google something about life insurance, funeral expenses, cremation, whatever, burial, and then boom. Or as my buddy, I had a guy the other day, he says, y'all do burial insurance? And I was like, what? And then I was like, oh, that's what killed me. So he's like, burial insurance. And then he's saying burial, you know, like, but it's just different. So we don't say that. Connect, it's just not how we, but I was like, yeah, we do that stuff. I mean, the final expense. It's like, yeah, we call it burial insurance. And I was like, okay. You know, I sell a lot of that. And I was like, well, we do too, you know, and it's, but it's just learning. I mean, you learn, I always want to be open to learning. You know what I mean? I want to be open to what I don't know and getting better at it. How many agents do you have actively selling now with you?
11, 12.
How did you find most of them?
A lot of warm market.
Okay. Give me an example of one of them. Just
Well, my brother.
Who's selling? Okay, well, your brother,
That's
yeah.
pretty warm.
That was definitely pretty warm. I like your brother, you know?
We have a couple people here that we just have gone to church with for a long time.
Yeah. Your dad's doing some recruiting for you.
Yeah.
Pastor, he's on it.
Yeah, my dad is the pastor of the church. He said, reach out to my boys.
Yeah.
So they contacted us.
How much longer?
Craigslist.
When you started, how long was it for you before your brother got involved with you?
6 months.
Got it. So you told him right away, I'm just Curious. You didn't. You
So he was in the insurance world previously.
got it.
So we, yeah.
So he knew you joined.
Mhm.
Okay. But he was content. You were good where you were at.
For the most
For
part.
the most part, got it. And also kind of fair enough wait and see, right? He just got in.
Yeah.
I'm good where I'm at, kind of maybe for the most part. Let's see what he does. If he falls on his face, maybe I see if he comes over to this world, but if he does really well and it looks good, and heck, if my brother can do it, I can do it. I mean, I'm serious. Like, I've been saying something about my brother. If he can do it, I'm like, I can do it. I mean, neither one of us is crazy, unbelievably skilled. It's just about working hard. I can go do that. Craigslist you've been using. What is your, so your goal is to hit 400 grand personal for the year. How about team-wise? What do you want to be issuing a month by December?
All right, so team-wise, I mean, a couple of markers I have are VP by the end of June.
Okay,
All right, and then EVP by the end of the year.
got it. Think it's achievable?
Yeah, I know. Well, I know it's achievable.
I know it's achievable too. Think you'll do it?
I think I know it will.
Okay, there you go. I know you will too. I think we,
That's why we're here.
yeah, well, exactly.
Yeah.
And hopefully this stuff helps and stuff
Keep
we're,
it better, yeah, for
we're
sure.
talking about. I think that's another part of it too is it's a pleasure to, you almost have to balance it. I was talking to a guy today who's got this group and he's really excited about them. He should be excited about them. They're a great group. And I said, what are you so excited about? And then when he finally broke it all down, he's like, I love trying to help people. And like they want to get better. And then it reinvigorates me because I want to help people. And they want to be helped. Because mentoring's pretty gratifying. Whatever you're mentoring somebody in. I mean, you mentor your kids in something, sometimes they drive you crazy.
Sure.
But when there's like all of a sudden this lucid moment, you're like, oh, listen to me, I gotta keep talking. They're actually listening to everything I'm saying, right? Like capture it, right? And it's a very rewarding deal, you know? And I think that's, and I know that we just, we went and visited a college recently, I was with my son, and one of the things the guy said, I said to the guy that he knew he played there, I go, what did you love about it? And he said, when I walked in that locker room, all the guys in the team I met, they were likable. Like, I don't know, they were the best 15 or 20 in America. We were good, but they were like good, they were team players. They wanted to win. They weren't like, you've all been in business or played ball with people that are me, and me, and me, and me. And the team loses, but they're excited. I did good. We lost. You didn't do good. No, I got mine. No, you didn't. You're about to get yours because you're not a team player. And how important that is for people when you're working with them. And you know what's funny? You look at them on paper, they're not better than Liza. They're unbelievable. They do unbelievable every year. There's got to be something to be said for that culture, that chemistry, that that team atmosphere. And then a coach who, he's been there a long time. Why? He's got kids that want to learn. You know, frustrating it must be to coach a bunch of people that don't want to learn. I got it. If you got it, we'd be doing better. And the kid said to me the other day, Coach, I got it. How come every time you got it, you dribble the ball and we don't score? I'm just wondering. Help me out with I got it. What does I got it mean in your world? Because every time I got it, you don't score. You should call a play for me. I don't need to. You take the ball anyway, and you ain't got it. We only have 5 left, 2 fouled out, or you wouldn't be got it in the game. And we're about ready to play with 4. Because that's not against rules. You're just going to sit over here and you're not fouled out. Because you don't pay attention. And the talent disparity, you are a little better, I said, but because you don't pay attention, I'd actually take these other 4 over you. Not because it makes me feel better, I have a better shot with them doing what they need to be doing. Because they're working together. So, that's good stuff. I'm excited too. I appreciate you coming in. It's been very good spending some time with me.
Yeah, appreciate you.
So, you got it. Very different story. Want to go ahead and introduce yourself? And
Sure. My name is Justin. I live right in Louisville, Kentucky, and I'm very new, about a month and a half in.
got it.
And I actually still partially run my horseshoeing or blacksmith business right outside of Louisville, Kentucky.
What did you call it when you wrote it down on paper? Farrier. Farrier?
Farrier is the proper term.
It is, really?
Mm-hmm.
That's a blacksmith?
That is
It's a horseshoer?
Yes, all wrapped
Farrier.
into one.
Really?
Blacksmith is the old term, but
Okay.
farrier is the proper
Got it.
PC term.
And then you're telling me that when you put the shoes on, they don't hurt the horse.
Does not hurt the horse.
Well, you never know. I just assumed. I was like, that's gonna be tough. It's tough anyway. But so you deal with the horses, and if they're injured and all that kind of stuff. Like you just pretty much put the shoes on them and stay out of the way.
Yeah, for the most part, for the horses that are racing and running at Churchill Downs, such as the Kentucky Derby. But I do some therapeutic work on horses, which is a little bit different. I'm not a veterinarian, but a lot of times I work with veterinarians to whatever the end goal is for the horse and for keeping the horse sound.
It's pretty cool. Your dad was a jockey in the Derby.
He still is a
Still is a jockey. I'm sorry. He was in.
Yeah.
Apologize. That was quick. I like that. I'm gonna buy insurance from him right now. I'm about ready to get him smacked. I'm sorry. I just misspoke. I like that. You're hired. Oh, he still is. Okay. I'm sorry. He was in the Derby this past year.
Just in the Derby.
And it's definitely still a jockey. Okay. But he was in the Derby, which is awesome. How many horses are in the Derby itself?
It's open to 20.
Okay. So you're one of the
Top 20.
top 20, right?
20 in the world.
They don't pick the best rate, they don't pick the worst, so that's awesome. And I was asking, that's a different conversation for a different day, but you enlightened me about how it all went. Because I had a buddy of mine the other day, he was giving me the conspiracy theory about how it's all fixed and what they did. And none of his facts line up, but he thinks he's right. But he also thinks like the government put a chip in his head. He's a different kind of kid. I like him a lot. So I'll be like, hey dude, shh, chip in your head. And he's like, stop. Like, I love him, he's great, but I've known him forever. But he was telling me about how they did that, why they reversed the decision. This guy did this with the money, and I read this here on the dark web, which if you want to be protected from the dark web, you get Reliance Shield. You don't have to worry reading any of that stuff, you'll be protected. So you've been doing that full time for how long?
About 12, 13 years.
12, 13 years. And what are you looking to do with the insurance industry?
For me personally,
you
changed my
personally.
life. Yeah, because at the end of the day, I mean, there's only so many horses I can get underneath. And, you know, I jokingly say this, but it's true. Working with horses, especially as a farrier, being a blacksmith, you know, one end of the horse kicks, the other end bites. So trying to find the happy medium there. So, you know, and it's very labor intensive, and, you know, I just see a lot of the people that I'm surrounded in, especially the horse racing industry or just blacksmiths in my group, you know, they don't get around too good. So like I said to you the other day, it hurts.
Yeah.
And so I don't want to, I'm looking at the end game doesn't look as promising, especially now that I'm a father. And so, you know, for me, I want to do a 180 degree turn, and I think it's going to be a lot more fulfilling being able to help people in life insurance.
It's crazy. When I was like 19, this guy hired me and we did floors, right? There for like 3 months. And I said, Bill, you know, if you don't mind me asking, I'd love for you to talk about how you built your company. I'd like to, you know, eventually run my own company. And he said, do you see how hard it is for me to get up and off on the floor? Like down, up, down, up? I said, yeah. Like, are you injured? He said, no, I've just been doing this forever. He said, my advice is, you know, work here until you need to not work here anymore and go do something else. Because it's painful for me to get out of bed, it's painful for me to get into bed, I can't run around with my kids, it's labor intensive, it's terrible on my knees, it's bad on my back, it's bad on my shoulders, you know. Now how did you get involved with us? How did you find us?
Actually, kind of backing up a little bit, I looked at becoming a life insurance agent prior
Got
to
it.
it, but the timing wasn't right for me about a year ago.
Okay.
And so I found Kyle through Craigslist, just seeing an ad that kind of struck a nerve, and for some reason just felt like I gotta find out.
Do you know what it was about the ad? I'm just curious if there's any.
I didn't see it through all the way.
Okay.
I was actually looking at another company, and when our first interaction, I asked him, I said, is it such and such company? He's like, no. And I'm like, okay. So I was intrigued to know and find out more. And honestly, I felt like it was, you know, call it what you will, like, I don't want to say a calling, but it was, I felt like timing was
It's okay to say,
more perfect.
Whatever you feel is okay to say.
So, you know, for me, and then, you know, meeting him and his brother and everyone else, it's just kind of seems like everything aligned. So,
Which is weird, because if I didn't know, I thought y'all known each other for a long time. No, I mean that, because you just like, there's, you know, it just works. There's like some, you know, there's some synchronicity, if you will. It's kind of funny too how you can have people you've not known for about a short period of time. There's a lot more congruency with than the ones you force yourself to talk to for the last 25 years. I mean, seriously, it's kind of like, it just kind of fits. You know, as you go through stages in life, right? Change, you're doing here, you have some, so that's pretty neat. So you got connected, you didn't have your license previously, you'd been looking into it, so you got your license. And how many appointments have you run so far with us?
I would say probably just under 50.
Got it.
Between 40 and 50, I would say.
What do you think has been the biggest thing you've learned? You can give me a couple if you need to, but a couple things about you, about the appointments, about the business.
The biggest thing I've learned is that I don't have to know everything. Like, I don't have to know, like when I first started, I didn't, my first appointment, I was nervous and, facing the fear and realizing that I don't have to know really anything about the product, just go and take action. And that's what he told me, and that's what Kirk told me. You just go, just show up, just basically do what you're told. And so that was the easy part.
And it's hard because a lot of people want all this. And when you say to them, do they fill it out? Just go out and help them. Like, relax. We guys take this one product. If any questions, call me. They almost think like you're trying to minimize just to minimize it. And it's like, no, it is that simple. We used to do it. I know it sounds weird when we say this, because we used to do our sales training, and I mean, literally, we get them all amped up. Like, we're at big sales training today. Mike knows, he was there. Like, big sales training today. We got some product training, get everybody in the office, and it's a big deal. They get started, and like, they have the pens out and stuff. Like, you guys, are you ready? I mean, once you be ready, we got this company, and here it is. And they're like, okay, yeah, tell us about it. So it's the way this one works. Go to the whiteboard and be like, if they die, it pays, but dollar sign. Over here. Boom. And if they live, I write down live, it pays. And when you put in the computer, male, female, smoke, not age, gives you a price. Good luck. Sales training's over. Let's go to work. Oh, by the way, the people that contact us already want it, so just don't screw it up. Your job is to not screw it up. And I think we just literally, that's what was my deal, was I'm trying to find a way not to screw it up, because I already have a sale, in my opinion. Why would I screw it up? You know what I mean? It's no different than anything else you've done. Somebody brings you a horse to go ahead and do your, to perform your, they know, you're not confused. You brought your horse here. Well, I don't know why it's going to be that much, because that's how much it is. And you brought your horse here, unless you want to put the shoes on yourself. Right. One end bites, one end kicks. You want to put the shoes on yourself? No. Okay, then why don't you let me do it, and this is what it costs. This is how much you've been charged for 12. This is the way it works. You want to try to go somewhere else? You're very presumptive because you know they need your services. And I think a lot of the folks handle this, treat this like it's a want to, not a need to. Life insurance is a need to. It ain't a want to. It's a need to. People buy life insurance because they need to. Well, they want to. If they wanted to, everybody would buy it. Like, why wouldn't you, well, what do you mean? They can't see the need. That's our job. That we took, think about this, 1.5 to 2 to 3% of the people respond to all the ads that we send out. Facebook, direct mail, whatever it is. That's the percentage that knows I need to. The rest of them know they need to, but they turn a blind eye to it. A lot of people do what they want, not what they need. Why'd you buy that? I wanted to. Did you really need that new car? I'm not mad at you, but you had one that ran pretty good. Why did you buy those new sneakers? I wanted to. Well, but you need to go. No, I know, but I wanted to. You can't pat a lady the other day. I ran into her, and I gave her a prescription drug card. Like, she was talking about her medication. She stopped taking her medication. She said, do not take my medication anymore. I ran into her at a restaurant. She was talking, she's helping me. And I said, and she's like, I only worry about my kids. And I'm like, well, you're like getting in your 60s. You probably should worry about you too, My doctor says my cholesterol is so high, it's at a dangerous level. And I'm like, I wouldn't brag about that. Probably say, your medication is $200 a month. I'm like, and the card makes it $25. But there's other things you have that you ain't need, but the thing you need, you don't do. So we have a need-based purchase, and the people that ask us proud have already made the decision they do. It's pretty straightforward, and I think that that's a hard thing to get people to understand, though, is to not convolute it. It's not about, it's who you are. Hey, I'll give you this as an example. I get a dozen or so phone calls a week from clients. Hey, and they usually call on the weekends. Why do they call on the weekends? They want to get voicemail because they want to leave the message, just have to talk to somebody. I answer. Oh, hi, is this Fan First Life? Yes, ma'am. How can I help you? Oh, I thought I'd get voicemail. No, you call, I answer. How can I help you? Well, I have a question on my policy. Okay. What company is the policy with? What do you think the answer is they're going to walk out? I don't know. That was Ryan, not Kyle. I don't know. You know what I mean? I don't know. What do you mean? It's with Kyle. Can you go to your bank statement and see who's taking the money out of that social policy? Which means I bought him. The carrier it's going to pay if I die. It's a return of premium, it'll pay if I live. If it's whole life, it'll pay if I die. When does it end? When you die. Clients, when does my policy end? When you die, ma'am. It effectively will end in pay a check. What about before then? Won't end. Just keep paying it. Pretty straightforward. I mean, you're going to pay until the day you drop dead. They will stop taking payments when you die, and they'll give your beneficiary the money. But I think it's such a, so that's the stuff we get, people, but you understand, Shawn, it's just not the way I operate. I need to have more information. Why? If I'm telling, like we said, very nicely, just do what you're told, but we're trying to help. I mean, we're not trying to hurt you, we're trying to help. And again, we can talk about the client. I gave her plenty of options. Her head was spinning, man. I mean, how could she say yes to what?
Right.
And I was a big believer, and I was a one carrier kind of guy. And that's just what I did. I mean, I had all the carriers in case I needed them, but Americo's going to pay me 8% more. The products are as good, if not better, in America. That's what I do. I mean, if they decline something, fine, I'll look at something else. But their approval rate, when you look at all the other mortgage carriers we got, they're higher than them and final expense. So I mean, like they're approving, they're great, and I don't want to confuse people. I don't write one policy from one carrier, one other one, and I think the more I have in one place, the better off I'm going to be as far as keeping on the books. So, well, I hope that it's a good journey and you transition when you need to transition, but you have a great group to help you. So,
Yeah, absolutely.
thank you, man. I appreciate it. It's been nice to meet you. Y'all want to go ahead and introduce yourselves?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
I'm Tara Shawn,
I'm Bill. Yep.
and we know Kyle and Kirk from church, as I said. I got licensed in February of this year. My brother joined a different company out in Utah and recruited me into that company. Found that it wasn't really for me. I actually recruited him right away, and he found it wasn't for him immediately. And
Didn't take long.
Nope,
didn't take
30
long.
seconds.
And so then he, went and talked to the Hastings boys, and I was just going to let him go, and we were going to compete, right? So I was going to stay with that other
So
company.
you were going to stay?
Yes. I
Because he was
gonna stay with
100%
him.
sure it wasn't for him,
Yes.
but you were kind of on the fence.
Correct.
Got it.
And so, yes, I was going to stay, and I was a little ahead of him because licensed a little before him. When he decided he was going to go all in, I said, all right, I'll just, instead of competing with you from a different company, let's do this. So I'm here.
And Bill, you were in a completely different industry.
Yes, sir.
So what industry were you in?
Hotel industry,
Hotel. For how long?
hospitality. For a long time.
Too long.
I'm a very old man. Yeah.
Yeah, me too. And you had told me you're working how many hours a week?
Oh, 80 easy a week.
Getting paid for how many?
30, 40 maybe, yeah.
But I mean, think about really, right? Maybe, right?
Maybe.
And that's the thing. It's you guys and kids and the whole deal.
Right.
And I think what's so great about, and you said it, Terry, pretty well, because you had asked a question about what do I focus on, the hiring or and I'm like, always, you got to be profitable yourself first. I mean, I'm not saying don't hire, by all means, hire anybody you want, but be profitable first. And you're like, the company I was at was just like, hire. And for me, I was always, and I've been part of that too, it's like, but somebody's got to sell the insurance, and if I don't sell, I don't make any money. And if I hire 25 people and 18 of them quit, including me, you're the only one that makes any money. And what about me? And I think that we get really excited about what we can offer, and when somebody leaves an industry, they're making some money
Yeah.
and joins us, it's a really cool feeling, and it's a very humbling feeling, and it's also a feeling of we don't want to let you down kind of deal. I was talking to a guy the other day, I know him really well, and he just made a big change after being in this industry for 26, 27 years, and he's moving, and I said, but all I can tell you is I won't let you down. I can't. In this business, we just won't let you down. Work as hard as we can, we're going to shoot you straight, we're going to make sure you got leads in your hands, we're going to make sure you got people to meet with, we're going to make sure we mentor you through. You guys have a great group you're working with. Now, how long have you been selling, both of you?
We're new to the game.
Brand new.
Yes, sir.
Brand new. I think
We're
I just
brand new.
got my contract numbers last
Got it.
week.
So you didn't out in the field yet. Okay.
Correct.
So what's something you learned and listening to, Kyle's been out there for a year, and listening to us talk about what's something you think you've picked up on that's going to help you in the field when you get out there?
The game changer for me was being presumptive, that they've already made the decision to purchase, they know they have a need, I'm just there to basically do the paperwork. So,
Which is, and that's the thing on the phone. Like they always, I always watch people on the phone. I'm like, we always had this thing like if the phone call goes more than a minute, like we've visualized the phone self-destructing. Because then you go into a dangerous, familiarity breeds contempt. You're having a conversation, and that's awkward, kind of deal. That's why when somebody goes, "Hi, Shawn, it's Tina," we hang up. Shawn, yeah, Tina, how's your day? Click. You don't yell at her because it's mean. You just hang up on her. But it was that whole presumptive of Tara, Shawn, get back to you and Bill about what you filled out. Remember doing that? No, I don't. Great. Yes, I do. Great. So my job is, get the information out to you. well, I gotta decide if I want it. Yeah, we already filled it out and sent it back in, cause you know, now you kind of like start looking around and talking, so I'm pretty disinterested even though they can't see me. And I'm like, you know, you already did that, so my job is to get the information to you. What if I don't want it? Then you would say you don't want it. So, just like if you're not eligible, we'll say you're not eligible. So, but all that stuff we gotta do when, you know, at the house. We should do it over the phone. Oh, me too. I'd actually patch into my boss if he would take a phone call and you could tell him to do it over the phone, but they're worried about me wanting to eyeball you, make sure you tell them the truth, you're not on oxygen, and you're not insanely sick. So, anyway, tomorrow at 10 to work. Yeah, 10's tough. Yeah, 10's tough for me too, but so tomorrow at 10 to work. I'm the one actually coming to your house, Tara, with all due respect. You don't have to drive nowhere. You don't have to stay there. So I have to come all the way out there, you know what I mean? Like leave my family and stuff. So but anyway, tomorrow at 10 to work. And I mean, because you did ask for it, right? I'm not cold calling somebody. You can't do that cold calling. You can't, and you gotta have fun with it too. And it's not you're not being offensive, and you're just treating it the way it deserves to be treated, with some presumptiveness, you know? And you know, like I bring my son, every once in a while, like I brought him to people that can help him do certain things, right, athletically, and he wants to. And I brought him to people who didn't have, they like I bring you in to get pitching lessons, and you come highly recommended. And the first 3 lessons, you're talking to me the entire time, and not really coaching him, kind of trying to get my validation. If I knew how to do it, bro, I would teach him myself. I brought him to you so you could teach him. Why are you acting like you don't know how to teach him? And you know, I brought him some guy recently who was just like, okay, like he just like shook my hand because I'm texting email. My son's 15, and immediately it was just structure immediately. Here's what we're gonna do. Here's how this works. Have you ever seen this? You ever read this book? And we do this over here. And here's how we do this. Here's the angle. Here's his back speed. We're gonna work on this week. And I just sat right back down. I was like, he's got complete and total control. And if he don't know what he's talking about, it sure as hell sounds like he does. You know what I mean? And but I mean, on a serious note, it's one of those things where I expect that. I've made a decision to purchase something to benefit my son. I've made a decision to come in and do that. I don't expect you to act like you don't know what you're doing. So people go, well, I don't want to come across as overly confident or too presumptive. So you want to come across as not be able to make a decision and weak in your posture and your stance on things and your demeanor. How is that better? Because I wouldn't buy life insurance from you if you did that. Just be respectful, but I expect you to be in charge. I ain't hiring you. I'm hiring you to be my life insurance agent. I'm not paying you. I always like, how much are you gonna make on this? Well, let's see. Let me calculate how much you have to pay me directly. 2 plus 5, 0. You pay me nothing directly. What does it matter? But I'll tell you if you want. The insurance company will pay me. Seriously, that's not a question of I'm seeking information. That's I'm trying to bully you.
Yeah.
Or kind of right. You just determine the difference. That's all it is. Have the posture and you know, if you get nervous and you get red in the face, say that. You know, I'm seriously. If you get fidgety, say that. If you click your pen a lot, say it. You know what I mean? I mean, you know, we used to have some of the younger people, and they would get. I had a kid really young one time. Remember that he was like 18. He's from North Carolina. He looked like about 15, 12. You know, he's like, I just don't think they take me seriously. And I'm like, well, try to get him to laugh. What'd you do? I'm like, just tell me your mom's picking you up. You know, say when they don't let you in, but my mom just circles around. She comes back every 45 minutes to make sure. And my mom makes sure I got an application, like I didn't let you down, or I can't get a ride home. So I'm gonna take my shoes off. And I'm like, if they don't laugh, then they probably don't like you, and probably not gonna buy from you. If they laugh, then go ahead and make a sale. So, well, welcome to the team. You guys are in good hands.
Yeah, thank you.
It's good to have you. It's been good spending time with you.
Yeah, thanks.
So you got it. All right, Rye.
Ryan Montalto. I've been working with Family First Life for about 4.5 years now.
Yeah.
Super excited.
Ryan is you're growing immensely. How much volume did you guys pay last month?
About 450.
About 450. What were you doing this time a year ago?
Probably about 150.
About one. Yeah, I was thinking VP, you know, hitting VP and kind of. So that's the kind of thing, right? And I think Ryan's got a great group of people, and I think you're in a very good learning mode. Like we're trying to figure out what's working and what's not working. What is something that you guys have changed about your organization that you think has allowed you to, you know, to go from 150? Oh, it's a lot of people love to go from 150. If you guys start doing 450 a month, you will not be mad. You will not be working 80 hours a week. You'll be able to control your own schedules, and you'll make a lot of money. It should be great. What is, if you had to pinpoint maybe 1 or 2 things that y'all are doing differently now that have really benefited the business?
It's real funny you asked that because it was kind of talking to him yesterday about how did I hire you? Like, what did I say? What did I do? And one of the things that he kind of talked about was I didn't need him. I didn't vomit all over him. I didn't need him. It wasn't like he was trying out for my team, or our team, you know. I changed that a lot probably in the last year and a half, because I used to, like when you said recruit people, I would talk to people and like it was like I needed them from a need basis. I needed them for my business to succeed. What I needed to do was run my own business and do me first, and then if I could get anybody else, you know, that was a plus. It was just a different mindset. And I know you and Meaike Killamat talk about it a lot. I mean, I couldn't have hired him 2 years ago, but I could have hired him a year ago. And now, you know, seeing him, seeing how he's developing and seeing how he's talking, I can see where he's at, you know, at that 80 to 100,000. So I can step outside and look a little bit more. It's almost like being able to see where he's going, help him not make some mistakes. Sometimes you got to make them on your own too to keep developing. But it's definitely an attitude of I don't need anything or anybody.
Well, I think it's also, again, I mean, it's what we expect, what we're used, learned behavior, right? If I worked at any company, if Amazon ran an ad, and I contacted them because I want a job, and I showed up, and they begged me to work with them, it would be weird. It's just not what I expect. I think that would be awkward. I don't expect them to be mean to me, but if they begged me, like, you know, this is the greatest thing that's ever happened in your entire life, because they don't even know me yet, especially until they got to know me. I would expect them to ask me questions, interview me. They can certainly fill the positions, and there's going to be some kind of probationary period where I'm going to make sure I work hard and they watch me, and probably some kind of evaluation structure we do every so often. And you start off by making this, and you can move to this, whatever the position is. So why is that different here? It's not. So why would I've known you for, you know, an hour, and you're going to be you know, if somebody goes, well, how do you know I'll be good at this? I didn't say you would be. I hope you are. I think anybody can be good at this, but I didn't say that. You're putting words in my mouth. You're saying, how do you know I'd be good at this? I didn't say that. And it appears to me you care about people. It appears to me you like to work hard. It appears to me that you are willing to be taught. So I think, based on those things, unless you're not like being direct with me, I think you'll be really good at it. But I can just go with what I'm guessing. I don't know until you do it. We'll know pretty quick. We'll know after a little bit. And I think that's a dynamic you always, you know, we had this travel baseball team. In 3 years, if we lost, we played every weekend. We played a bunch of leagues. If we lost like 9 games cumulative, it would be something. Won a league championship every year. It was the elite of the league. There's no better league. But, you know, we sponsored it, and the kids didn't pay anything. So our expectation, and we were honest about it, was, Mom, Dad, you don't pay. Kid, your mom, dad don't pay. If we want you off the team, you're off tomorrow. We want to play with kids that want to be here. Do we have talented kids? Yep, they're very talented kids. But we also had a lot more of a want to than we did talent. They all knew it's hard, you know. Try to do that when every parent pays $3 grand for their kid to play. My kid's not playing. You didn't pay. How come my kid's not playing? He's not as good as the other night. How good is he? Well, there's 4 more on the bench better than him. If they all get hurt, he's in. But you didn't pay. I mean, if you want to quit, you do what you want to do. You want to play a different team, or maybe that's up to you. I'm just trying to give you the best instruction. I'm not trying to be difficult, but what I'm trying to say is I understand the dynamic, and I also would be a very bad coach where everybody paid me, and then all weekend long we're emailing and texting about where they're. I don't do well with that. I'm just not good. You have to know your limitations. So I think that's also where the whole selling deal comes from. You know, you asked earlier about selling. Well, if you're selling $5-7 grand a month, you do need me. You can say whatever you want, but you need me. And if I'm relatively intelligent, I look at the numbers, I know you need me. And then when you're giving me advice, it's going to be advice that's going to be best for you because you need me. You sell 40 grand a month, you don't need me. And if I'm doing something that's not working, you're going to give me advice that's best for me, most likely. You're already making money. Yeah, you'd like to go ahead and build a bigger business, but you're not going to give me advice that's based on your bank account right today. You know, people, when somebody does something, you know, people are like, I can't believe that agent did this. I'm like, they were in a bad financial position. I'm not saying they should have done it, but they were in a bad spot and they thought that made sense, and it didn't make sense. It was a bad move for them. But I think they were just so desperate. They were in a bad spot. I mean, people, it's what happens. I mean, you can yell, scream all you want. People are going to do that. You know, we do a lot of property management. The guys always like, well, I'm going to straighten them out. They have no money. They're stressed out, and they have nothing to lose. You're going to straighten them out in what way? You're going to... They know they owe the money, bud. I mean, you got to do the best you can, do what you can do. But that's a big deal, right? And I think also Ryan's, you allow a lot of people to go ahead and do their own thing too. I think when we start building it, we're trying to manage it all, right? And we think we're in charge of everything, you know? That's the agent that works for me. I don't know why he's not doing better. No, don't just keep working with people. Just do the best you can, man, and keep moving. It's all you can do. And I think you got Jared is doing quite a bit, and that group's growing a bunch, and he's awesome. And I think there's, you know, this group's gonna be massive. There's no doubt about it. I mean, there's some good people. You have good people that are just doing it the right way. I mean, it's 2 + 2 is 4. You know, it's gonna work itself out. What is one thing, Rod, in talking today that you think that you guys as a group can do better moving forward to help you all grow?
I definitely think everybody could use more, get to work a lot more, work on their schedule and really hone down on and cutting out a lot of the white spaces.
Hey, it's our biggest problem.
Yeah.
I mean, it's coming. I mean, we still, if we get my buddy's computer chip that he has in his head, if we get that in everybody, we can really track people. I still think our average agent works 15, 17 hours. Our average full-time agent works 15, 17 hours a week. I think that, you know, they don't do 30 appointments a week, and they do certain weeks. They do it for a week. They do it for when they stop. You know, I think we also get people to hopefully start doing this. You know, I was telling a guy that said to me the other day, I'm just making a lot of sacrifices. I said, Bud, you've been selling life insurance 15 years. This is lifestyle, not saying sacrifices. For 15 years, you've been working 70 hours a week. You've not gotten ahead. But you really haven't been working 70 hours a week, have you? You say it sounds really good, but I've now worked with you for a year. You're 40, 18, 43, 9. You're just doing this. And this happens because the consistency of work isn't there. You know how this works? More appointments, goes up. I did pretty well, less appointments, I'll go down. I'm gonna buy more leads and buy more appointments, it goes back up. Man, I have $7,000 in my bank account, I should go on vacation. Less appointments, less leads, it goes down. We do it all the time, look at lead purchase here. We do it all the time. We're now right at 2 million in paid life a week. But, you know, what I say to you, Mike, when you call me to let me know the good news. I'm like, we should be at 10 million a month. We should already been 8 million a month, right? We got enough people, we got enough leads. We need to do better, man. We gotta go serve some people. I want people to make sacrifices so they can live the rest of their lives however they want to. I want you to buy that time back, though.
Yeah.
I do. I want you to be able to show your kids. I mean it. The next 10, 15, 20, I want you to show them what it looks like to be the owner of your own business.
Yeah.
And that's good stuff. I mean, that to me is, that's, you know, I always kind of joke, and they're like, you know, how do you know your model's gonna work? I'm like, because I think we care about the things that we care about. You know, the money's whatever, it's green paper. You changing your life and doing something for your family is really awesome. And that's the stuff that's more reward than the money. Looking at bank accounts one thing, you doing it for your family, doing that stuff that, I keep talking about, I'm gonna cry, so.
Yeah, I know, like I'm on camera.
Yeah, I know, me too, yeah. I know, that's my new favorite movie now, Fight with the Family, that is the WWE one. And at the end, the big guy's crying, the father, like, hey, what do they call him, something, he's a nut. He goes, I'm not crying, I'm allergic to the dog, you know? He's great, so. But I think too, when you talk to your families, that's what it's about too. You know, when you get down to it and look them in the eyes, that's all they're trying to do, man. Trying to protect their families and trying to serve them. And when they know that you care about them more than you care about the dollar bill, because what are most people afraid of? What are most clients? They don't want to be sold. And why are they afraid to be sold? They think it's only about the dollar bill. You know, I mean, I was telling them, I'm not going to get rich if you buy it. I'm not going to go broke if you don't. I have plenty of people to meet with, man. I just want to help as many as I can. So, big brother, little brother?
Little. Yeah.
Little brother biologically, chronologically.
That's right.
Yeah, you used to take them though if you needed
Oh,
to.
yeah.
Oh yeah,
Absolutely.
in a minute, yeah. That'd be great. So we get the $1 million a month, we'll do a wrestling match. Nothing crazy violent, just like a wrestling match. Why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself?
Kirk, down in the Louisville, Kentucky office.
Been with us how long?
Started part-time back in September and then full-time in January.
So what was it that made you, after you and your brother kind of communicate and you watching him, you kind of want to, what was the thing that made you decide to change and come work with us? I'm just curious.
I saw his success kind of out of the gate pretty quickly. And then my wife and I actually had a baby in September when I started part-time. So she was off work from September until the very end of the year,
Mhm.
only making about 60% of her salary.
Yeah.
During that time, working part-time for Family First, only running about 7 to 10 appointments a week, we saved more money in that period while she was getting 60% of her salary. So
That's great, though.
after that and seeing what Kyle was doing, that's when I decided to come on full-time
That's great. And you've been full-time, I'm sorry, for how long yet?
since January.
Since January, okay. And how much have you issued paid year to date?
A little over 55,000.
Got it. So you tracking 250, 300, somewhere in there? somewhere?
Yeah, that would be the personal goal.
That'd be a good goal. Be good money.
It made a huge difference probably around February to March when I just needed to put numbers on my side. I was running like 15 to 20 appointments. But then it seemed like just a switch went off, started running 21, 22, 23 appointments. And that's where my production started increasing a lot more.
Ryan, that's a struggle right there, man, is you can run 12 to 15 appointments and get by. The problem is in our business, in an advanced business with, getting by is a dangerous thing. Because one or two things happen, and then it's all of a sudden, it feels like the world's caving in on you. If I run my 30 appointments a week and I buy you leads, you don't sell, okay. So-and-so canceled. I don't want anybody to cancel, but so-and-so canceled, okay. I hired somebody and my goodness, they rolled $500 to me, okay. I don't want to have, we have things in place, run a good business, we tell people how to manage all that, but it really allows me to stay out in front, and I think that it's allows you to not, again, that roller coaster is a bad ride, and you think about just having a new baby, how great it is to alleviate a lot of that financial burden, because what happens? Hey, she's gonna be out of work, you're gonna get less. What are we gonna do? That's on, I don't care what anybody says, you're a human being, it's on your mind. You're thinking about it.
Yep.
What are we gonna do? How's this gonna work itself out? Can't go back to work tomorrow, you're having a baby. I remember my son's like, why'd you start me so early in school? Because he's real young for his grade, And I was like, let me tell you something right now, daycare was like $1,200 a month.
Yeah.
The first time I put you on a bus to preschool, you fell asleep. Like they had to wake him up when I got him there, because he was 3 turning 4, and then he was 4 turning 5 in kindergarten. I was like, he's ready, and he was still like, he's falling asleep on the bus, and and it's terrible. I can laugh about it now, but really it was like we both, we need to be at work, and we didn't have like a relative that was like, hey, I'm independently wealthy and I love your child, and I'll just hang out with him all day long and it cost y'all nothing. We didn't have that. And but really it's again, he's fine, he's a big boy, he's good, but it really made me think a lot about how stressful that time was, and how difficult it was, and how almost every decision we made was based on money. He had to he couldn't breastfeed, and then he couldn't take regular formula. So this formula called Alimentum, I think. It was a purple, and it was $50 a can, this big. I remember sitting at the grocery store going, you know what? I ain't gonna steal it, but I know why people shoplift sometimes. It's like, I need like 4 of these, and that's $200, I'm not gonna steal it, I promise you that, but it's like, if there's some out in the road and it's sealed, it's expensive, man. I'll tell you what, and the doctor would give us like a can, but I remember that, and I think it's important when you're in business, Kirk, to never forget those times as you continue to grow. And it's not like you weren't paying your mortgage, your rent, or weren't making your car, but it's tough. And I've had those. I've had where we were behind, and I think anytime it starts to get really good, I always ground myself by thinking about where I came from, where it was. And I always remind myself that I can go back like that. Complacency is like an evil thing. You have some agents you're working with?
Mm-hmm.
How many agents you hired so far that are selling?
That are selling 3.
Okay. People you know?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
I'm telling you, we're gonna end with this. I know if there's 2 million people selling life insurance that are actively licensed in America, or 2.12, whatever we pull off the internet today, and we have 7,000 of them working with us, it's a very small representation. I don't think anybody, I'm being honest, I don't think anybody offers what we offer. I think in a multitude of ways, not from just, compensation, the renewals up front, no contract, the training's the best, lead platform's great, you can go make as much money as you want to. We're gonna challenge you appropriately, help you build a team, give you advice that's best for you, not best for us. And we're running a company to have everybody grow like crazy and not trying to count every penny that comes in every minute of every day. that's why the other people are in trouble. They're focused on money, we're focused on people. And that gives us an advantage. So, well, I appreciate you guys coming in. I appreciate you joining us.
Yeah,
You guys did a great job. So, thank you very much. Thank you for tuning in, guys. Let's have a phenomenal week. We're still knocking on the door 1,500 apps a week for America, which will give us the bonus money and prize, and we'll be paying that out to people. So, we'll see you all next Friday.